This interview is brought to you by EmployeeEscapePlan.com. And again, if you are looking, I'm going to say this all day long, Joe Nicasio is an amazing, amazing man, and I keep talking about him every hour. If you want to have your business grow, if you want to put in those foundational principles, if you want to have a freaking genius, like a borderline mad scientist genius to help you with your business and have it grow in a human being who's also so committed to you and wants you to win, as I have experienced over the last 3 years working with Joe and all that he's done for me in my life and the people around me, I highly, highly recommend Joe Nicasio, EmployeeEscapePlan.com. He's an amazing coach, business coach, problem solver, marketing expert, sales expert. He knows human psychology like the back of his hand. He's just amazing. Highly, highly recommend EmployeeEscapePlan.com. As a certified high-performance coach, Sara brings people from where they are to where they want to be personally and professionally. She helps people who yearn to stop eyeing others with envy to become the version of themselves that makes others turn their head and take notice. She empowers people to stop feeling as if they were just going through the motions and challenges them to reignite their passion for life. Together, she helps clients break through barriers that are holding them back by building a customized personal path for success and fulfillment. Having spent years studying psychology, self-confidence, communication, time management, and high-performance habits, Sara knows the skills necessary to live an incredible quality of life. Sara is a coach, speaker, writer, kindness and gratitude advocate, and a total book nerd. Sara has been featured as a guest expert in coaching programs and virtual summits, as well as being an active contributor to writing platforms. Sara believes everyone deserves more in life, and her dynamic coaching style creates noteworthy results. Sara, are you ready to rock this?
Rock this with you.
You are now rocking this.
Burns.
We're
Let's
rocking
do
this. It. Awesome. Thank you. This is time number 2 for you, right? Come back with the heat.
It is. I'm super excited. So thank you so much for having me again.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we loved you so much last time, and you just brought like so much like data and like you had like this powerhouse presentation. I was like, oh my gosh, let's get Sara back. She got the gold. So thank you for coming back to share this with our listeners.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Awesome. So we're going to dive straight into the theme of the day, which was inspired by you. So thank you for helping.
You're
do
welcome.
That. Thank you. So we're going to dive into self-love through forgiveness. And Sara, how have you related to forgiveness? How has that been a challenge for you? How have you dealt with forgiveness to create more self-love in your life?
That's a great question. I think forgiveness it's such a powerful topic. That's one of the reasons I was like, sure, I'll do this with you, Chris. Yeah. Like, let's do it. Let's jump on. Let's do this. I think for me, forgiveness has had a very dynamic relationship in my life. It's involved forgiveness with myself. It's involved forgiveness with others. It's been, the like combo action where it's had to be forgiving others and forgiving myself. And I feel like forgiveness is so important to really live an extraordinary life. And for me, it's been in those moments that I've just been able to forgive that I've really been empowered and I've been able to move forward. So I feel like, to me, when I've been stuck in those places at certain points in my life where I haven't been able to forgive myself or others or both, it's really held me back from forward momentum. So, and obviously loving yourself, because when you feel guilt and shame and anger and frustration and all of these things, that is about the opposite of self-love as there can possibly be. So then you feel bad about yourself and it affects your confidence and your mood and all these other things. So it's definitely been a kind of roller coaster ride for me, if I'm honest. It's been, certain times it's phenomenal. Certain times it's been a struggle. Certain times it's been like, all right, let's just let this go. but it's definitely been worth the ride. I will say that.
Amen. Amen. I think that's such a beautiful place to stand, is like some days I'm like awesome at this letting it go thing. And some days I just get triggered and I hold on to that. Like it's mine.
Yep. Like I am just going to sit in this right now and I'm going to dwell and just leave me alone. And we're all like that, right?
Yeah.
Like forgiveness is not something that's, at least for me personally, I don't think it's super, super easy. I think it's, it does take work to forgive, whether it's forgiving ourselves or someone else or a combination. Like I said, it's not, you don't just wake up and you're like, oh, all of that horrible stuff you did to me, no big deal. Like I'm just over it. It's not, I don't think it's that simple.
Even forgiving ourselves, which I know we're going to be diving into today. There's a lot. It takes a lot, a special kind of human being, or a lot of work, or a lot of focus to wake up and say, the momentum that I've built up until now about this topic, like let's say not making the amount of money that we want, like the momentum that I've built up, the shame, the guilt, all the stuff that I've held on to, and just wake up one day and say, yeah, I'm going to let that go and just be this new person who thinks like a billionaire and feels like a billionaire. Like that momentum shift, not quite that simple.
Right. But I mean, it's doable. And when it happens, it's absolutely amazing. But, like you said, that you're talking about really boils down to the daily work, which you and I have talked extensively about, and you talk extensively about all the time online. But it is, part of that is that aspect of it, that it really is a daily commitment to yourself to keep, yourself in check almost. And when you have these moments and you're in these frustration, you need to forgive and you're not expressing self-love, to do the work to get back there, that's the work is never over. I say that all the time. It's a journey. There's no destination. And that's a perfect example.
Wow. This moment is everything. And right now, for everyone listening, you're watching Miss Sara Cruz and myself diving into self-love through forgiveness. And we're going to have a lot of fun with that. So, Sara, tell us a little bit more about what you do today as a profession, in case it's people are hearing you for the first time.
Sure. I'm a certified high performance coach. And right now, I basically work with business owners and executives who are burnt out and frustrated. I help them figure out absolute clarity around what they want their life to look like. I help them discover the addictive patterns that are keeping them stuck and struggling. And then I teach them a new set of systems and structures to change their behavior, create new habits, so they have a vibrant career and an extraordinary life. So I do that through one-on-one coaching. I offer free virtual high performance trainings to companies and organizations. So anyone's listening, if that would support you in any fashion, just reach out to me. It's really easy. I do it, online. It's totally free. I just give back. And I also write. I just released my new ebook yesterday. So we'll see how. Yeah, woo woo. So that was a lot of self-love to make that happen. Let me say that.
I love it.
Yeah. So I mean, that's basically what I'm up to. I just love being of service to others, just like you, Chris. It just lights up my soul, makes me, jump out of bed every day. So any way I can do that, I'm game.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And something I want to dive into that I know about you personally, maybe nobody else might not know yet, is that you're very driven, you're very type A, and you crank out content and produce, and you're so laser focused and you're so driven. It's like inspiring as heck. And I don't know how you freaking do it all. It's like, you did what today? You did what in 8 hours?
I know. You're funny. You're funny. You make me laugh when you talk. You're like, what did you do today? Like, wait, today? Are you talking about today? And I'm like, yeah, that was today. Yeah, I mean, that's just me. That's been a learning curve, a process all on its own to be able to hone in and focus, that crystal clear and avoid distractions to just get it done. But yeah, that's me. That's definitely me.
So the reason why I brought that up is because today's theme is self-love and forgiveness. And, some people do that because they feel like there's a worthiness thing that they have to overcome. And some people have already overcome that worthiness issue. And now they're free to be. And they're like, I freaking love doing this. And I love giving 110% all the time. So I'm curious, like, how has those two topics of self-love and forgiveness shaped your output on your work and why you create so much and you're such a freaking powerhouse?
That's a great question. And I'll share a little bit of a personal story. I've always been a generator by design, always. I've always gotten a lot done. My to-do list daily like freaks a lot of people out, except, I mean, I get it done. I'm not that, I don't have like a list of 3 things a day. Like that's not my life. But I get them all done. So it feels good to me. But a long time ago, you know, I used to do a lot because I wanted to feel worthy. Like the more I got done, the more I was getting momentum, the more, you know, I had a business, I was going to school, all these things. And I had a really bad health scare. I actually fell to the floor and I thought I was having a heart attack. And it turned, obviously it wasn't, thank goodness, but it turned out I was suffering from panic attacks because I was burning out and just go all the time. Wow. So it kind of became, I had to shift that, and I had to still learn how to produce so much, but practice self-love and self-care at the same time. So I spent well over a year, probably 2 years, really learning about time management, priorities, repurposing time, focus, distractions, all that kind of stuff. And I still get as much done. It's just in a much healthier way. And I still, you know, take care of me. So I think that was the transition for me. In that situation, I wasn't practicing self-love. I was just, you know, I was a robot. Like I was a machine. I would crush things every day, but I didn't enjoy my life. I didn't take care of me. I didn't journal every day. I didn't meditate every day. It was just like, get this done, you know? So, in the beginning, it was a worthiness thing. And the transition for me and kind of crafting my schedule was adding that self-love piece into it, because now I don't really believe in balance. You know that. Personally, I don't believe in balance, especially when you're doing something you love and really, really love. I don't believe that there's like, you know, gosh bless you if you love the 4-hour work week. That is not me. I couldn't do it. Like I'd be like, oh my gosh, I love what I do. I can't do 4 hours. Right. If that's you, totally cool. No judgment. But yeah, it was a big self-love piece, and just taking responsibility for my own actions, and then just kind of learning and growing and shifting that. And now, I mean, yes, you know what I get done in a day. It's still absolutely ridiculous, but it's a lot better because I have that self-love piece in there as well.
I'm curious, is there anything that we can give our audience to become a like producer, generator, powerhouse like you that they can access through self-love or forgiveness? This would be the thing that I would share. Obviously you need to focus and you need to eliminate distractions. I mean, that's pretty, I mean, you know that. And right. You gotta stay on task.
I mean, I don't need to say that. Like, we all know that. If we want to get stuff done, we need to focus and get it done. And not be scrolling Facebook every 5 minutes when a notification goes off. But the biggest thing for me is in how I kind of incorporated that self-love piece into it that made a big difference is, which you can, anyone listening or watching this can implement like today, like in this next hour, is block scheduling. The reason I love it is because it totally changed my life. And block scheduling, if you're not familiar, you can do it a lot of different ways. They recommend 45 minutes, then a 15-minute break, or 50-10. And really honor yourself with that. And, you know, I mean, especially if I'm on projects, Chris, you're the same way. Like, you sit down and you start creating, and it's like 3 hours go by, 4 hours go by, and you're like, whoa, like, where did my day go? It's gone. Like, are you kidding me? So even like in the beginning, I would set alarms on my phone to go off in 50 minutes, you know? So, and in that 10-minute break, that's where the self-love piece comes in. So whether it's meditate for 10 minutes, whether it's just stand up and walk around, like, I have the most adorable little puppy in the world. So if you don't follow me on Facebook, you need to, because my dog is adorable. But it's just like playing around and rolling around on the floor with him for 5 minutes, you know, it's anything. So I think that is the biggest like advice piece that I would give to someone is spend that time wisely and know your priorities and knock out those priorities and those things that'll get you results first, but also like focus and then take breaks, focus and then self-love, and focus and then some more self-love, and focus some more self-love, and just do that throughout the day, and you'll notice like you'll get a lot done, but you also feel really good as well.
Bam. Bring in the truth. Bring in the heat.
Damn.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's dive a little bit more into like the healing and the self-love, self-image, self-worth, and like how to really get through that stuff. What do you got for us around that, Sara?
Sure. First, just a little side caveat, but I think it's really, it's important for me to say this. When it comes to forgiveness, for anyone listening to this, it doesn't mean that what happened is okay. And I really feel like I need to say that because I know personally I've had some really horrible things done to me. I've done some really horrible things to people, not now, just saying, but I made mistakes in the past. And I think it's really important for me to share that forgiving someone doesn't mean what happened is okay or anything like that. But it does mean you're not letting these negative emotions dictate how you think, how you feel, and how you behave anymore. You're allowing yourself to move through it and empower yourself to become a better person, to learn from the experience, to grow from the experience. But it doesn't mean it's okay. And I do want to say that because a lot of times when it comes to forgiveness, like bad things happen. They really, really do. And they're hurtful and they're painful and it's a struggle and doesn't mean it's okay. So I had to say that because I think it's really important. The next key thing is to really take action, like self-responsibility for what was your part in it. Did you do something that you need to be forgiven for? Was something done to you that you need to forgive, or is it a combination? I think identifying that is the first step in, feeling that self-love again and feeling, the worthiness of forgiveness is to really identify what the situation is. Like take the time, be like, what really happened? What's my fault in it? What's their fault in it? Do I need to own up and take responsibility and apologize? Or do I just need to express how I feel and be unattached to the outcome? So I think that's really the first key piece to that worthiness and self-love again, is just identifying like, what's the situation? How am I involved? And what do I need to take responsibility for?
That's powerful. So if we aren't aware of like what might be stopping us, and I think a lot of people try to shove it down, so if we're not aware of the memory or the thing, how do we look at that? How do we uncover that? How do we, bring that out, draw it out?
You have 4 hours. No, I'm just kidding. I think a couple key things that have been really helpful for me is sometimes when you're not really sure what's going on, but something's going on, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like you're not feeling right. Like you're feeling these feelings of guilt or pain or regret. For me, it's been really helpful to just sit in stillness and just see what comes up in my head. Because a lot of times it's in those moments of quiet that we just let our minds go and these things just come rushing. And after you experience that, like I would encourage you to write it down. I call it journal out the junk. Just doesn't matter how messy it is, doesn't need to be pretty, just journal it out and see what's there. Another really key thing that is a really powerful question when you are struggling with forgiveness and is just asking yourself questions like, what happened to me that would cause me to feel this way? Another really powerful thing is, whose voice is this in my head? Because, I've been in an abusive relationship before, and later, a lot of the, forgiveness and self-forgiveness, all this thing I had to deal with was that voice in my head that was beating me down wasn't even my voice. So, that's another like really powerful question is in those moments, ask yourself, is this my voice? Is this me? Is this me even talking? Is this really like what I think? Or is this someone else has said this to me or brought this on me, or I had a fight with my best friend and they said this, or, my dad said he didn't approve of this. So whose voice is this can also be like really powerful when it comes to uncovering like what we need to forgive.
Yeah, and I like that voice. And another kind of synonym might be who's programming, whose stuff,
yes.
whose BS belief systems, whose limiting beliefs is this that has infected me, and being aware of that, because a lot of times it is other people's stuff that we've taken on as our own.
Yes.
Don't do it. Stop it.
We all do it. We all do it. You know, but yeah, don't do it. When you do it, it's okay. You know, it's okay. But figure out how to move through it. Don't stay there.
Don't make yourself guilty, but don't do it.
Right. Right.
So that's perfect. That's perfect. So identifying the voice, I love that. You talked about journaling out the junk. So if there's stuff going on, and you mentioned like, how do you know if something's going on? Well, if you don't feel right, if you feel like tired, exhausted, whenever you think about doing something, like if it's a project that you're working on, you're just like, I just don't want to do it. Like, check yourself. Check and see like what's going on. Like, why am I not feeling empowered? Why am I not feeling like my GPS, my greatest possible self? What is going on that is in my space that's keeping me from showing up?
Yeah, another really powerful thing that if you need to identify what's going on is, and it is time consuming. So when I say this, if you're like, whoa, don't freak out too much. But a really powerful thing to identify what's going on in your own head is record your thoughts for 24 hours. It is one of the most eye-opening things you will ever do in your life. It will be one of the scariest things you'll ever do in your life, and one of the best things you can ever do in your life. And you just jot down like what you're thinking. And then the kicker, and what I teach people to do is kind of like, and this is like high value, stuff that's like deep, is write down what's going on. So if you're feeling self-doubt, like I can't do this, like, well, what are you about to do? Oh, I was about to go live on Facebook. Okay. So then you can notice those common patterns and those common themes about, those negative feelings that come up. So that's another like more extreme way to really spend time and identify like what's going on with you. And then, practice self-love and healing in those specific areas.
I love it. So noticing when the trigger comes up, because like a lot of times when you're just like sitting and watching this video, you're like, okay, cool. I'm watching this video, but I don't really have anywhere to apply this to. So think back when you were triggered. Think back when you were stopped, or when it comes up in the future when you feel like, I don't want to do that, or you think about things that normally would scare you. Like, find out what is that trigger. What is it about it that gets in your way that stops you from showing up?
Yes, definitely.
Powerful. And we had Elizabeth Engen say, hi, Sara Cruz.
Oh, hi. She's amazing.
I love it. So keep it coming. How else do we keep healing and expanding on the self-love and forgiveness?
I think another one thing that I want to share is apologize. And so many people just don't do this. And if you do something wrong and you're in the wrong, own what you've done, your mistakes, and genuinely apologize to that person. And this is something that I used to struggle with years ago. It's almost like I was too proud to admit that I really screwed up, and I needed to, wallow and be like, come, think of the dog with your tail between your legs. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I screwed up, But I think that's a really important piece, is to, if you have done something wrong and you need to be forgiven, which is part of self-forgiveness, because we have that guilt and that regret and that shame that weighs on us when we have wronged someone in some way. So the thing I would say is, buck it up, Buttercup, and apologize, genuinely. And, that can be, challenging, and that can be scary. And sometimes people don't want to hear it. I've had situations where I've literally screwed up, and I've screwed up really bad, and they didn't want to hear me apologize. Like, they didn't want to hear it. So in those cases, write them a letter, just even if they don't ever read it, just still write them a letter, because it's you owning what you've done, and you're able to release that even through a pen and paper if you can't have that conversation. And let yourself do that. Like, that's a really powerful healing thing, is to genuinely apologize and write a letter about it. And even if it's someone that you need to forgive for something they did, also write a letter, and you can say, this is what happened. This is how I feel, because I'm not going to call my abusive ex-boyfriend and say, hey, I forgive you. Do you want to apologize? Like, it doesn't happen like that. You know what I mean? But But writing a letter and saying, this is what happened, this is how I feel. I forgive myself. I love myself. I honor myself. I've learned from this. I've grown from this. And then finish it off with a powerful kicker and say, I'm no longer available for, you know, and end the letter that way. It's a really empowering way to forgive yourself, to forgive someone else, because it's flipping it into a learning and growing experience and something that you can move forward from, move through, and grow into a better person. You know, maybe it's, I know I'm no longer available for, I'll just use a silly example, for someone who goes out to dinner with me and they're always on their phone. You know, like if you have a breakup and you need to forgive an ex-boyfriend, like maybe that's what you learn. Like obviously it can be much more deep, but we'll keep it not so deep for the purpose of this. But you know, that's a really powerful thing to do, is just write a letter. And there's a lot of different dynamics, so you can use that.
Beautiful, beautiful. And we had Paul say, I'm sorry you're mad at me is not I'm sorry. So the misconception that I'm sorry you're mad at me, like, why are you mad at me? Like, how could you be mad at me? Like, almost like you are in the wrong versus I'm sorry.
That's why I said that first part is take responsibility for your wrong, you know? So yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's so true.
Gold,
Chris,
Paul.
why are you mad at me?
Right. I'm sorry, but why the heck are you mad at me?
Why are you mad at me?
You need to stop. You need to stop being mad at me.
Very true. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes. So I love also that we're diving into is so powerful, to just give up the right to be right and righteous and like in the right, so to speak, and like you were done wrong, and to give up blame and to give up like shaming and guilting. It's like, I'm sorry is just taking this, like, listen, I don't know what happened, but I'm sorry, you know, like I don't, even if it was like your fault, you can be like, I'm sorry, like I take responsibility, especially for leaders. Right? Leaders take responsibility for their direct reports and stuff and their team. And a leader, even if there was a breakdown, someone didn't do the work that they were supposed to do, you can say, I'm sorry. I failed you as a leader. I failed you with giving you the necessary things. I didn't show up in the way that I was committed to. I didn't properly prepare you. I didn't adequately give you the thing that you needed to succeed. I'm sorry. That's powerful.
Yeah, I mean, that's powerful. I mean, because think about, I mean, what's do people basically want? They want to be heard, and they want to be seen, and they want to feel understood.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. If you can cultivate relationships around the goal of making someone feel like they're actually, like, you see them, you hear them, and you understand them, so many things in your life will change, because that's just basic human nature. It's just, you know, and that's that piece you're talking about, leaders. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't give you what you needed to succeed. I'm sorry, I didn't provide for you in the way that you needed to do your job to the best of your ability. Like, I'm owning that. What can we do moving forward? You know, it is a powerful thing. That's great for you to mention that.
It also takes the pressure off of them, because up until that point, they're like, I messed up. Like, they're going to kill me. And then as soon as the leader says, I'm sorry, they're like, what? Like, it's not, you're not gonna like kill me. Like, it's not like quote unquote my fault. There's like, the pressure is relieved, and it comes to this place of collaborative problem solving, like how to find the best solution versus you're wrong, what are you gonna do about it? It's like, I'm sorry, what can we do to move forward? How can I best support you to make sure that we accomplish this moving forward?
Yeah, that's really true. And even like the old CEO of Starbucks, Howard Beher, and then even Simon Sinek always talks about growing the people first. And, you know, that has a lot to do with this forgiveness and self-love and owning, taking responsibility for your actions and moving forward. Is, as a leader, a company, a mentor, role model, like, grow your people first. Like, even your family, you have children. What's your goal? Grow your children first. Like that. I mean, that's just, you can apply that in anything, whether it's business or personal.
Wow. Interesting. I'm definitely taking this one to heart, because I had some recent miscommunications with my team, and I'm like, what the heck, man? Why is this not working? Like, what's going on here? And just to continue going back to that frame of what was missing? Like what structure, what system, what communication? Where was the disconnect? And like even I see that there was areas where I could have said I'm sorry, and it would have made a bigger difference, and it would have broken through the guilt and the shame that might have been there a little bit. So I'm really grateful for this, Sarah. It's definitely helping me out.
Yeah. Well, good. This is a good topic, and I hope it helps everyone that listens to it and replay viewers. And when it goes later on, up on the podcast, I told you I was excited to talk about this because it's very applicable in so many aspects of your life, and it's very powerful.
Yes, it is. So let's keep diving in. What else you got for us?
So the next thing when it comes to being responsible for your healing and how you can kind of self-heal is affirmations. And, when I started affirmations, to be honest, it was very strange for me. This was many, many years ago. But I was like, what do you mean just sit here and say statements? Like, what? Like, I just thought it was bizarre. It was new to me. Of course, anything that's new feels a little uncomfortable. But affirmations can be really powerful when it comes to forgiveness and self-love and being responsible for your healing. Anything, like even as simple as I forgive myself. I love myself. I know one of my favorites when I was getting out of not good relationships, whether it's been friendships or relationships or anything like that, was I used to tell myself all the time, all day, every day, I'm strong, I'm loved, and I'm supported. And I only attract people into my life that bring me joy.
Wow.
And I used to tell myself that over and over and over again.
It paid off.
It did. Chris Burns, look who's in my life now, right? But, sometimes with forgiveness, just I forgive myself, or I'm empowering myself to forgive whoever you need to forgive.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if they ever say, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter if you try to apologize and they don't want to accept it. Like, you just have to be unattached to the outcome, because forgiveness, it's really always about within, period. It's really about your well-being, your happiness, your joy, your life. It's, yes, of course, we want that person to accept an apology. We want someone to tell us, I'm sorry if I hurt you. Yeah. But it's so empowering to not have that as something that you need, or something that you're looking for, or a result that you're so attached to. If that doesn't happen, then you just can't move through and can't move forward. So affirmations are really, really powerful. And even like Ho'oponopono, I'm going to slaughter it. I apologize. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. I've heard it pronounced a million different ways, but that's the Hawaiian forgiveness practice. And when I first heard that, I was like, it's kind of interesting. You can look it up on YouTube, for anyone that wants to check it out. But you basically repeat over and over again, I love you. I'm sorry. Thank you. Please forgive me. And you just say it over and over again. And you can listen to calming music. You can do it with your eyes closed. Like, sometimes I've done it sitting at a stoplight, like no joke, like in traffic, sitting at a stoplight. Like, a lot of these things are so easy to just, this is coming from, as Chris mentioned earlier, the girl who does a lot every day. And this is still stuff that I can fit in, like, no problem, because you don't have to spend an hour like reciting affirmations. Like, in your 15-minute break, take 2 minutes or 30 seconds or a minute. And think, write, say some positive affirmations around self-love, forgiveness, and it's amazing. Just try it. Trust me and try it.
Yeah, and how do we get to the place where we're consistent with it? If we haven't done it yet, haven't done it before, is it more important to have a scheduled, structured way of doing it, or is it having reminders? How would you recommend we best do that?
I can tell you what I did personally when I started. I personally needed the reminders because I am very busy and I am very scheduled, and I do live, I call it beautifully chaotic structure, because it's, I am creative, as you know, Chris, and I do spontaneous, crazy things, but I have a schedule. I have a lot to do. So I do stick to a schedule. So for me, I needed those reminders, and what that looked like in my life, when I started, I just added them to my morning routine that I already had. So that was kind of an easy one for me to remember. Like on top of journaling every day, I just added, okay, let's say I write some affirmations. And then I would set alarms on my phone is what I did to remind myself. And it was kind of funny the way I did it because I made the alarm go off as an affirmation as well.
Yep.
So when the alarm went off, it was an affirmation. So it was like, there was my reminder to do it. And there was my start. Like there was my first one. Another one that I did is I took Post-its and I put one on the bathroom mirror because I have long hair. I mean, you see me live, but if you're listening to the podcast, you won't know that. Like my hair is very long. So if I'm in the bathroom, blow drying my hair is not a 5-minute process. So I put a Post-it on my bathroom mirror and I just said, I put some affirmations on them. And I also just had one, I actually wrote in lipstick, love yourself, forgive yourself. I would change it weekly, like whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then I also had one in the car and I stuck it to the little, on the dash. And it just, said like, think positive or something. And it would remind me to like say some affirmations as well. So that's what I personally did. It was just kind of setting up those little reminders throughout the day because you don't, as I said, say 5, say 10. I mean, think about how long that takes. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it'll really, really help you, body, mind, soul, spiritually, mentally, if you create this habit for yourself.
Wow. So create a discipline of it, put reminders, do whatever works, I think is the key ingredient here. Do what works. Double W. What works?
Do what works.
Awesome.
Do what works.
Cool. Let's keep it rolling.
So the next thing, is when it comes to forgiveness and self-love, this is probably, with honesty, one of the most difficult things for me personally that I ever started doing. I struggled immensely with this. So for those of you, when I share this and you're like, whoa, or you try it and you're like, this is weird. This doesn't feel right. This is uncomfortable. I'm going to tell you, just keep doing it because it gets easier and it's so powerful. And what it is mirror work. I don't know if you're familiar with mirror work, Chris. I'm going to assume that you are. For those of you listening, that if you're not, it's a really powerful way to forgive yourself, to express self-love. And it basically, Louise Hay, amazing woman, as we all know, was the founder of this. And she was teaching this back when affirmations and all of this stuff that's so popular right now was not popular. I kind of think of her as the godmother of personal development. Incredible woman who has been an amazing mentor in my own life. But she really taught this. And basically you just go to the mirror and you put your hand on your heart and you look into your own eyes, which that's the part that I struggled with. Like that was the part that was like, this is weird. This is uncomfortable. This is awkward. And you'd say, I love you. I honor you. I cherish you. You are loved. You are supported. You are guided, all of this stuff. And you literally talk to yourself in the mirror, looking in your eyes with your hand on your heart. And it feels, at least for me, maybe not for other people that have done it, it was so uncomfortable for me when I started it. I thought it was so weird. But let me tell you, it is amazing. And I would encourage anyone to try it. And that's another one easy to throw in your day. I do it when I get out of the shower. So, blah, blah, blah. Or think about how many times you go to the bathroom a day. Like, what if you washed your hands and did a little mirror work for 30 seconds? Like, how would that change your life? And yet easy to implement, right? So it's amazing.
So I'm curious for the people out there who are like, yeah, I know I've heard this before, heard affirmations, heard mirror work, maybe even heard about Ho'oponopono. But they still haven't found themselves doing it and executing. What's at the source of that, and how can they actually make it a priority? How can they, strengthen their why on their discipline to do it?
From my experience in working with clients and in my own life, I think from what I've learned, it's the uncomfortability. That's what holds people back, is because it's new, it's different, it's strange. So what I would say to that is, and that's just from my own life and from what I've heard from clients of why they don't do this. Well, it's just, it's different. It's strange. It's weird. Like, it's uncomfortable to say like, I am strong. I am powerful. I am loved. Like, that's weird. And I get that. I've been there. I've been you. I understand you. But I want you to think about everything amazing and extraordinary and incredible in your life happens just outside your comfort zone. So if you say, we all have this bubble. We want to be safe. That's a lot of reasons that we stay stuck and we don't make forward progress, is that fear of being anything and that fear of being uncomfortable. But I know what I know to be true, and I know you would agree with me, Chris, is nothing magical happens in your comfort zone. It doesn't. So I would encourage you to just even take baby steps. If you have to just say one affirmation every morning and that's how you start, okay, but just start. Just do something, anything, and just start.
No, that's powerful. So basically we're like, there's a lot of people who don't do what they know to do. And what Sara just gave us is like how to just get started, and that mentality of just do one thing. Just take a step. You can take a step.
Think about the biggest staircase in the world. What does it start with? One step. Yeah. Everything in life is one step. You want to launch a business, what do you have to do? You have to take that first step. A baby. Why do we celebrate children so much when they take their first step? Wow. So it's just think about it like that. Like a mother, a father praises, like how many, I'm in baby making years. Chris, you're a little young, but so many of my friends have children, and I saw all of the videos of the baby's first step. Like it's a monumentous, extraordinary occasion. So look at things like this and this personal work and forgiveness and self-love and mirror work and affirmations as just take that step and celebrate yourself for doing it. Yes. Celebrate yourself for doing it, because even if it's one affirmation, it's a big freaking deal. Like celebrate yourself. And
what Sara's saying is you have the opportunity to program yourself to keep doing it instead of do it once and I wonder why I stopped doing that thing 5 years ago when I knew about it, but I just didn't keep doing it. Well, you have to really reinforce it with positive energy, with good energy, with like that celebration, with acknowledgement, and have people around you who celebrate that with you too, especially if you have a coach like Sara. Like share that with this person who you trust and who you hold in high regard, and then they'll acknowledge you too. They'll empower you. They'll say like, awesome job, keep going, keep it up, keep up that great work, the discipline, which I feel is a lot of people are hurting themselves and blaming themselves and guilting themselves about why they didn't do the thing. And it's like, share what did work, share the steps that you did take with the people who are going to say, that is awesome. I'm so proud of you. Keep up the great work.
Yeah, and when it comes to this, I think another key thing to remember, and I would just encourage everyone to remember, is there's always tomorrow. And I compare it to, I compare personal development to losing weight, because I feel like so many people can relate to, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to get healthy and I'm going to eat healthier and I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. And they go to the gym for 2 weeks and then all of a sudden they don't anymore. And then they're done. Like they don't start again. So it's the same thing with things like this, like an affirmation or trying mirror work, or even starting meditation. Chris is huge. I know you're huge on meditation, so am I, but I wasn't always, and I'm sure you weren't always either. It was something that you started. I started, and there were days that now I don't miss a day. It's like programmed into my body that I don't know how to miss a day anymore. However, even if you miss a day, you miss 2 days, you miss 3 days, so what? There's still the next day. Like just because you miss a few days or, I only said one affirmation today, so what? Do it tomorrow. Like it's not life altering, and it's not like the whole world is going to come crashing down. You just have to hard stop, just start again. The first step is just start, and then you can always start again. It really is that simple.
Yeah, and one thing you could do to keep yourself in momentum, even if you didn't do the habit that you wanted or the discipline you wanted, is you can look at the end of the day, look at your day and say, what were 3 things that I did well? What were 3 things that moved me forward? 3 things, simple, right before you go to bed. 3 things that you did well, and it's like, okay, cool. So I did these three things well. I feel better now. I didn't do my habit, but I feel good. I'm probably going to do the habit tomorrow. No, I'm definitely going to do the habit tomorrow. The habit is done tomorrow.
The habit is done. Yeah. And it really, what you're talking about too is commitment. You and I have talked about commitment extensively.
Yes.
But that's a big part of this self-love. Like it boils down to a choice. Like, do I have, you have every moment as a decision, as a choice. So, is it okay? I'm in the bathroom. I'm looking in the mirror. It's a choice if I put my hand on my heart and just look at myself and say, I love you. I honor you. I cherish you. That's a quick choice. Saying something positive, thinking positive, anything, all of that when it comes to self-love and forgiveness is a choice. But the more choices you make in that direction, the more healing you will experience, and the more you'll experience overall joy and happiness and gratitude and just the energy like Chris Burns has over here on a daily basis. It is those small, consistent things that you do over time that you're committed to taking action on.
Yeah, and it's really, like you said, a choice. It's like, does your identity say you're someone who falls off the track all the time and you don't follow through and you're a loser and you can't be disciplined? Or do you have another identity? Or are you working on creating another identity? And if you are, have compassion and grace for yourself and just keep getting back up every time you get knocked down.
Yeah. Another thing that I'll share, it's kind of a neuroscience thing. That's my degrees is psychology for anyone listening. That's my actual education. I know for me, it's another thing with affirmations and that kind of stuff. I am is obviously the most powerful affirmation you can say. And I know for me, when I started doing that, I was in a really dark place, to be honest. I was super depressed. I felt guilty about a lot of things. I was ashamed. I played the blame game, all of that kind of stuff. When I was saying, I am strong, I am beautiful, I am loved, I'm supported, all of these things, it felt like a lie. And it was very, very difficult for me to say those things because it's almost like I just wasn't quite there yet where I could say I am. And for me, it wasn't beneficial because the whole time I was like, oh, this feels like a lie. Like, this feels like a lie. So I want to tell you that psychologically, the neuroscience in your brain, if you are at that point, and I hope you're not, but if you are, and I am statements are just super uncomfortable, in your brain, the neuroscience of your brain on brain imagery, it doesn't show the difference between I am supported and support. So if you have that disconnect and that it like really just feels like a lie, and I'm talking like the extreme, like if it just feels a little uncomfortable, what did I say?
Break through that.
And go for it. But for me, it wasn't that simple, and it really did feel like a lie, and it really was like, it wasn't working for me, to be honest. But when I took it out and I just thought love, strength, support, success, anything like that, just repeating words. If that's where you need to start, like start there, and psychologically, like I am is super powerful, but even just saying love, forgive, blessed, gratitude, even just the words are a great place to start.
Amazing. Sara, so we have a couple minutes left. Wrapping it up, any final points that you wanted to hit or just takeaways, and what's the new reality that our audience gets to step into because of their time invested here with us?
I think that, if you get anything out of, our conversation today, for your listeners, I would like them to get out of it that honor yourself, bad things happen. It's okay to feel bad. We make mistakes. It's okay to feel guilt and shame around those mistakes because it means we have integrity. We are a good person. Like, it matters when we hurt people. Like, look at it like a good thing, but don't dwell on it. and commit to yourself that you can learn and grow from every experience. And as we talked about all this forgiveness and self-love, again, remember that forgiveness doesn't mean it's okay. Like, and that I think is so important. I can't stress enough. It's not about them or the situation. It's about you and your well-being and your overall happiness. So don't be attached to the outcome, and just know that there are steps that you can take, and forgiveness is so powerful. Like, I cannot stress that enough. It is work, and it is a lot of tears at times, and it's emotions that are all over the place. I'm not going to say it's always pretty. It's not, but it's so, so worth it.
Amen. Amen. Sara, you are a brilliant superstar. How do these amazing audience members stay connected with you on their own brilliant superstar journey?
Yes. Any of them can find me on Facebook. It's just Sara Cruz. My business page is Sara Cruz Coaching. I kind of like personal friends more, so don't feel free to friend request me. I accept everyone. I'm not going to lie. I love friends. The more the merrier in my world. They can find me on my website at saracruzcoaching.com. I know, super hard to remember, super difficult.
I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know.
I know. My name does not have an H. So, just so that might be
There's the booby trap.
Thing to remember. That's the booby trap in that situation. So saracruzcoaching.com. I'm also on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. It's great for business networking. So if you're on LinkedIn, you can reach out to me. I'm Sara B. Cruz, B as in boy, on LinkedIn, so you can reach me there as well.
Sweet. And everyone, you definitely want to follow Sara. She's constantly putting out amazing stuff. She just launched her ebook, so go ahead and get that too. That's what, the 4 C's of...
4 C's for positive change, and I wrote it for busy professionals.
Ooh, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yep.
That's exactly who we are. Well, not
yes,
maybe,
right? Busy, busy, amazing professional.
Right. We want to be productive, but you might have to go through some spaces through Sara's book to get to that place of productive versus busy. So let's.
No, I did. I actually the 4th C is calendar control. So of course, I had to throw that in there. So there is a big section of the book that's on calendar control. So.
I love it. Awesome. Well, Sara, you are a superstar. Everyone definitely follow Sara. And Sara, have the best day ever. Thank you so much for sharing this.
Chris, you have the best day ever. Thank you so much for having me. It's always a blast to be on your show. So I appreciate it. And thank you for listening to all your audience. And I'm wishing all of you and you, Chris, the best day ever as well.
The best day ever!
Best day ever!
We'll see you soon, okay?
Talk to you soon, Chris.
Bye.
Bye.